Right there. Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome into the Shelby County High School football pregame show alongside Tyler Rayleigh to my left there and Andrew Simonson, who's cutting in and out right now, but he'll be back in just a second with us. It's the Shelby County High School football pregame show and a big night of high school football action across Shelby County. We've got 12 total games to talk about, and we jump back into region play this week. We're past the midway point now. From here on out, it's region play every week until basically the last week of the regular season, and every game is going to grow with importance. So going to be a big night ahead for us, Tyler, when we jump into action here. What are your thoughts as we look at this night featuring 12 total games?
You know, it's a lot on the line, and I think you got everything to play for. Playoff spots are starting to fill in, and so you've got to really start gaining ground, finding your rhythm, and it's go time, guys. There's no wasting around anymore. You've got to play your best every single down, and that's what's going to determine the playoffs at the end of the season.
All right, well, we got Andrew back in, so let's just go ahead and dive in. No time to waste. 12 games to talk about tonight. We're all at 3 of the biggest ones. We've got 4 that could have been our game of the week this week between the 3 that we're at, and then Briarwood and Corner just down the road from both Tyler and myself at Briarwood, and that big region battle as well, where Daniel Locke will be tonight covering that game for us. Andrew obviously out at Hewitt-Trussville tonight for that big game between Thompson and Hewitt-Trussville for first place in the region right now, and that our game of the week. But first we start down in the AISA with our 2 games taking place there tonight, Cornerstone and Evangel Montgomery, Coosa Valley and Heritage. Quick thoughts from each of you on this. Andrew, I start with you.
Yeah, Coosa Valley seems like heavy favorites in their game against Heritage. It's a good Coosa Valley offense going against a bad Heritage defense that struggled to win a game this year. I like Coosa Valley to win them big in this one. Cornerstone Evangel Montgomery is a very interesting matchup for me because it feels like a traditional shootout. But Cornerstone's defense has been pretty solid all year, so I like them to get the edge in that. But this run game for Cornerstone, absolutely tremendous for them. Don't have a lot to handle in terms of this Lions offense, but I think they'll be able to do enough to outpace them.
Yeah, great opportunity for Coosa Valley, Tyler, when you look at this Heritage team scoring just 12 points per game. Good chance they're going to bounce back. And then you look at Cornerstone, like Andrew said, 2 offenses that have played some good football this year. So where are you going on these 2?
Yeah, like Andrew said, I expect Coosa Valley to really win pretty handily in this one tonight against a winless Heritage team. You look at this team, and they just have a lot of weaknesses going about them, a lot of offense, of firepower at times for Coosa Valley. I expect them to win big in this one, especially through the air. As for the Cornerstone Evangel Montgomery game, you look at these 2 teams, high-powered, undefeated against the 4-2 Evangel team. I do expect Cornerstone to come out, play their brand of ball, and run up the score like usual to help pull out a closer win, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, all boils down for Cornerstone. I think both teams win tonight as well, but for Cornerstone, completely boils down to how well that defense plays, whether it's a comfortable win, whether it's a tight win, or whether they lose a tight football game. But I think the offense plays well enough to keep that one at least close at the worst, but should walk away with the victory there against Evangel Montgomery as they remain in the driver's seat for the 8-man state championship there in the AISA. We move on to the AHSAA now, and we start with the Vincent Yellow Jackets in a huge battle tonight as they hit the road to take on Tuscaloosa Academy. And these 2 teams right there in the thick of things when you look at competing for the region championship. It's going to be a fun battle down the stretch over the next few weeks to see who walks away with that region title. So, Andrew, quick thoughts on this one as the Vincent Yellow Jackets, a game that was a little bit more lopsided last year, but we may feel might be a little bit closer this year as they take on Tuscaloosa Academy.
Yeah, this year I feel like it's going to be as good of a game as you're going to see in the entire state this week, and that's saying something when you look at the games from top to bottom, from north to south. Just because I think these 2 teams are fairly evenly matched. This year, TA still has a lot of firepower considering what they lost last year, and you've got a Vincent team with a head full of momentum and doing some great things on both sides of the ball. I think Tuscaloosa Academy just a little bit more complete at this point, but Vincent's been continuing to impress me, and they've got a defense that continues to swarm the ball.
I lost Andrew's audio there, but Tyler, we turn to you real quick. He's kind of, I got him back now, but yeah, it sounds like Andrew's. Andrew, did you finish up your pick there? Yeah, he's lagging right now. So Tyler, we'll just go straight to you on this one. We talked with Landon Archer earlier in the week, and it was a situation where he said whoever starts faster in this game is going to walk away with the win. So the question becomes, can Vincent start fast in this game and be able to use that to their advantage and pick up a win?
I do think it's going to be a very close, battled matchup. I do think Landon's right in that matter of who can start faster is going to win that game, but it's also who can really finish. Who may have the ball last is in terms of who's going to win that game. And I think Tuscaloosa Academy, like Andrew said, and I'm leaning towards that arrow of them being a little more complete. Now, we're right in that the fact that Vincent is a complete team. They got a lot of weapons back on offense and defense. I just think Tuscaloosa Academy is a little more complete. I do think Coach Weatherford over at Vincent has a little bit more of a headway on how the Tuscaloosa Academy team plays. But Vincent is going on the road in a very tough environment. I think that's ultimately what gets them in the end as Tuscaloosa Academy pulls away.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game, I think, much closer than last year. I actually have a feeling about Vincent in this one. The offense playing really good this year. But defensively, they've been so consistent throughout the season, and I just think that defense this year is the difference maker in this game, something that was a little bit more inconsistent last year. I think this year, with the setup that this game has, Tuscaloosa Academy not having those same explosive playmakers that they had last year, while still really talented, not quite what they were a year ago. I think Vincent has a little bit more confidence going into this game than they did last year. You could hear it when we were out there last year doing the show for this game, that the players were a little bit more intimidated and nervous. Don't expect that this time around. That takes us to the Montevallo Bulldogs, who hit the road to take on Selma tonight, and something's got to give in this game. Both teams have struggled mightily this season. The first game of the season, their only win so far this year, and so both of them have struggled since then. We go into this one, both teams needing a win as they get back into the second half of region play. Before we tell you about this game, we've got to tell you about Montevallo Main Street, proud sponsor of the Montevallo Bulldogs. And whether it's Friday Night Lights or a quiet Saturday stroll, there's always something special happening on Montevallo Main Street, from unique shops and local dining to community traditions and small-town charm. It's the kind of place where neighbors gather and Bulldog pride runs deep. Make downtown part of your routine before the game, after the game, and all year long. And we got plenty of fall events coming up there in Montevallo, so make sure you give them a visit throughout the fall season. Guys, Montevallo Selma, something's got to give. Andrew, I start with you in this one. Both of them have struggled since winning their season opener. Now a chance to gain a little bit of confidence here as we head down the home stretch of the season.
Yeah, it feels like something has to give in this matchup. Neither of these two teams have won since their opener. But Montevallo's offense has not gotten going at all. So I think in the battle that definitely favors Selma's offense to really get the edge in this one.
And there he goes. I think we figured out the answer to the question of whose connection was struggling now. So we'll see if Andrew can jump back on with us from our game of the week out there at Thompson-Hewitt Trustville. Obviously, a lot of people in attendance at that one. Going to be a big game there between those two. So I'm sure the cell coverage not as strong as it should be. But Tyler, I turn to you in this one. Montevallo Selma, both looking for that second win of the season. What do you see in this matchup? Is it a game Montevallo is going to be able to find something in, or is it going to be a Selma win tonight?
I just don't really think Montevallo has proven so much to me to be able to prove that they're going to come out victorious. I think it is the case. You really do need the win. For Selma, I think they have like a 5-game losing streak. Montevallo has a 4-game losing streak. Like you said, something's got to give. But until Montevallo really does prove to me that they have the offense to be able to put the ball in the end zone, it just doesn't seem like a winning formula. And I do think Selma, who has proven they can score points at times, is going to be able to do that again tonight and go out there at home and get a win down south in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, and to me, that's the big thing is we've at least seen a little bit of offensive confidence from Selma so far this season. 15 points per game on that side, still not a lot, but it's 10 more than Montevallo scoring on the offensive side. And when you're going up against a struggling defense, both of these defenses giving up north of 35 points per game on the season, then the offense that's been able to capitalize a little bit or at least show some promise this season is the one you're going to have a little bit more confidence in. But regardless, I think both have their best offensive performance of the year in this game tonight, which means anything can happen at that point in time. I think Selma also, though, with that offensive success they've shown at times this year, is going to be able to win that game. It looks like Andrew's going to try to join us one more time, and we'll see if this time he's able to hang on with us as we jump forward from that Montevallo-Selma matchup and go on to Shelby County as they hit the road to take on Demopolis. And this is a game that may be a little bit more winnable than it has been in past years. Demopolis maybe not quite where they've been in recent years, but still expecting to win a region championship this year and still a very good football team. Their 2 losses coming to very good football teams out of classification. And when you look at this matchup against the Wildcats, it's a team that's looked really good at times and a team that's been susceptible on defense at times. So, Andrew, will Shelby County have the defensive effort tonight to be able to pick up a win on the road at Demopolis?
No, but I think it's going to be close. I think that, obviously, like you said, this defense hasn't really been able to keep up so far. But I do think that both these teams are close enough to where it's going to make for a fairly entertaining game. But overall, I do think Demopolis has the edge in that regard. They've had the tougher tests, and Shelby County thus far hasn't quite got that statement win on its resume yet. I'll be interested to see how they perform in this one, though. And if they're able to get a win in this one, really going to set themselves up well for a home playoff game.
Tyler, what says you in this one as you look at Shelby County? And they've had some offensive success. They've been physical running the football like they always are, and they've shown some other dynamics on the offensive side. But against a good defense, against a good team like Demopolis, that defense has to play well. Do you think they do that tonight to be able to make this a tight game?
It's hard for me to really justify that. I think the main kicker right now for Shelby County is that they're in the middle of a 4-game road stretch, this being game number 3. And, at some point, the fatigue really hits you of that much travel, and I think it's starting to hit them. I think it's only 24 points within the last 2 games. For the Wildcats, and to be able to stop a Demopolis team who is on a high 3-game win streak, albeit against weaker opponents, you're going to have to really fight for this win on the road at Demopolis, who has the potential to be an amazing team. I just don't think it's going to be enough, and I think Shelby County's lows are starting to show right now here in the middle of the season.
Well, and it's going to have to go exactly to their style of play if they want to win. Physical running the football, long drives, and play some good defense after that. If they can do that, they're going to have a chance in this game. And I'll tell you, on paper, Demopolis 23.8 points per game offensively, Shelby County 22.7. And on defense, Shelby County 25.8 points per game. They're giving up Demopolis 22. So on paper, these teams a lot closer than maybe we expect the outcome to be. I think this one's going to be a little closer than a lot of people think, but it's going to have to go perfectly for Shelby County to be able to pick up a win in that game. That takes us to one of our big games tonight that's going to have huge playoff implications, possible region championship implications, and that's Briarwood taking on Corner just down the road from Tyler and I here in the 280 area. And this game, if Briarwood wins this one, guys, they win the region championship, in my opinion. They will not lose their next 2 region games. Before we tell you about this one, got to tell you about 3D Air Services, proud sponsors of the Briarwood Lions, and since 2005, they've proudly called Shelby County home. They're more than just your trusted HVAC company. They're your neighbors, friends, and supporters. From keeping Shelby County comfortable year-round to sponsoring local schools and athletic programs, they're committed to making a difference in our community. As proud sponsors of the Briarwood Lions, 3D Air believes in the power of teamwork, dedication, and community spirit, values they carry with them in every job they do. 3D Air Services, your trusted neighbor, keeping Shelby County comfortable, one home at a time. So quickly to you, Tyler. Andrew's gone as I look up, but quickly to you, Tyler, about this game. This is one of our biggest games in the state, really, when you look at the 5A level tonight. A huge matchup between 2 teams that are very good, that could go either way, and likely for the region championship.
I think the thing that you really have to watch out for here is for Briarwood, can they shake off what happened last week? They gave up a lead, 2 leads on the road. Of course, a very good Leeds team, but you have to bounce back now against another quality opponent. And so if Briarwood can do that, I feel great, especially considering they are at home. Let's see. I mean, I think Briarwood has the ability to do this and pull out this win, and I think they do because of their determination the last 2 games, especially with it being region and a chance to try and start locking up that region title.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is this is a really good corner defense. They've played pretty consistent football this season, but their biggest struggle came in a 34-14 loss to Ramsey, team that Briarwood won in a low-scoring battle. So if you're giving up 34 to a Ramsey offense that was struggling in that matchup against Briarwood earlier in the season, makes me think Briarwood can find some success even against this solid corner defense. But how do they respond? They had so much confidence, and then they blow that lead last week. That's the one thing I worry about the most in this game is how they respond so quickly. But this is the kind of game you want when you're looking to respond, because it's impossible not to be up for a game where you think you can win a region championship. And there's no doubt in my mind, if they win this one, they win the region championship. So they're going to lay it all on the line tonight. They're going to have a good game plan. I expect Briarwood on their home field to walk away with the win there in that football game. That takes us to the 6A classification, where we start with the Calera Eagles. And the next 2 weeks, Tyler, their best chances at a couple of wins. This week it's Brookwood. Next week it's Chilton County. Both those teams very beatable if Calera plays good football. And that's what it all boils down to. The offense can make big plays and be explosive at times, but for the second year in a row, the defense has been a big question mark for this Calera football team. And that's what I'm curious about tonight is, are they going to find a little bit of rhythm on that defensive side that's going to be able to take them over the top? So, Brian, Tyler, when you look at this matchup with Brookwood, how does Calera fare at the end of the night?
Well, Alec, I will say you cut out a little bit there, so I'm going to try and answer your question fully there. But I think with the way Jordan Ward is playing right now for Calera, you got to really feel good about this team. 42-25 loss last time out against Chelsea. And for this team coming off a bye, I think that rest was much needed, taking some close losses in the last few weeks. I think against a Brookwood team who's really struggling right now, you've got to feel good. Even though Brookwood did just come off a win, I think it's a chance for Calera to really pick up that first win of the season. And I like Calera to get their first win, and Scott Riles to really turn this team up. To be able to get in the win column tonight. I think it's an opportunity for Calera to really make a statement, and I think they will over the Panthers.
Yeah, it all boils down to how the defense plays, but they're taking on an offense scoring just 15.7 points per game. That's also giving up north of 30 points per game this season. So Calera, to me, a great opportunity this week. I think they can start a 2-game winning streak if they win this one tonight against Brookwood. If they don't, the confidence is going to be tough to find the rest of the way, even against Chilton County next week. So big opportunity for Calera at home against Brookwood tonight. And that takes us to the Helena Huskies, who also coming off of a difficult loss last week to Oxford. Not something that I think either you or myself, Tyler, expected against Oxford last week after the way they played against Moody. So to have that happen, that was a tough reality, I think. But now you jump back into region play. You're back in region play again. Wipe the slate clean of the last few weeks. I know you're still battling these road matchups, but when you look at this game, can Helena find anything? They got to start fast. The defense has got to play better. That's the biggest key to me for the Huskies right now. Starting fast, playing better defensively, but can they match up with this athletic and well-rounded Benjamin Russell team?
Alec, I struggle. Really backing that statement up. I don't worry, Helena fans. Think about it this way: I support your team, and I think you guys have a lot of talent, but you're going to have to do a lot against Ben Russell to be able to beat them, and it is going to be very tough. So I just think Ben Russell's going to be too much for Helena, and especially in 4th out of 5 games on the road in a row. It's just going to be tough. I do think Ben Russell takes this.
Well, and the crazy thing is, even last week, and Andrew talked about this on the show earlier in the week, the running backs totaled 262 yards on 40 attempts. That's Helena football. That's what they want to do offensively. But when you look at the end of the game, they give up 40-plus points, and they lose that football game and only score 7. That's concerning. The defense has got to play better. They got to avoid turnovers, and they got to avoid penalties. And all of that will lead to a fast start, and that's what gives you your best chance in a game like this. So we're going to have to see the Huskies come out and play a little better football from start from the opening kickoff in that game if they want to have a chance in that matchup. But I too think Benjamin Russell, the better team in that game. Just too many athletes right now for that Helena defense that struggled to match up with. Before we move on, got to tell you about Oak Mountain Hearing, proud sponsors of the Helena Huskies. Don't let hearing loss bench you this season. At Oak Mountain Hearing, we help you stay in the game so you don't miss a single play. Whether you need help with hearing aids, hearing loss, or tinnitus, Oak Mountain Hearing is here to help. Now open in Pelham. Call 205-728-1690 to set up a consultation. Don't let hearing issues affect your well-being. Hear every word effortlessly with Oak Mountain Hearing. 205-728-1690 or oakmountainhearing.com. Well, Tyler, we're hitting the home stretch of the show. Let's move on to the Chelsea Hornets, who are on the road at Chilton County tonight, and this should be a formality. Chelsea running the football extremely well with both of their running backs. Chase Malone coming off a 188-yard performance, I believe 4 touchdowns last week. They should be able to go in, set a physical tone on the ground with that rushing attack against Chilton County and walk away with a pretty easy win tonight.
Yeah, like you said, all I got to say, Alec, is see ball, run ball, get in the end zone. And,
Amen.
For Chelsea, that's as simple as it's going to be. I think it's going to be a nice cruise win for this team to pick up another win in region play and keep moving forward. I think Todd Cassidy's got this program in a good spot to fight for a good position in the playoffs. They may not get a home playoff game at the end of the day, but they're fighting for that 3 or 4 seed, and I think they're on a good track right now.
Yeah, my biggest worry is their defense. If the defense comes out and struggles a little bit, they've shown some inconsistencies there. That can make it maybe a little bit closer against a Chilton offense that has scored some points at times, but Chelsea can score as much as they want against this Chilton team, and I think that's going to be the big thing. You look at what this offense can do from a physical approach on the running, from a running standpoint. I think they go out and have success, and I say that Chilton's had success offensively at times. I was looking at the wrong stat there. They have not. 11.8 points per game. So this is a game where Chelsea's defense should be able to show up. But again, that's been their only concern is the inconsistency there. I expect them to have a good, well-rounded game there tonight with some big matchups looming the next couple of weeks that'll determine their playoff fate, possibly getting up to compete for one of those top 2 spots in Class 6A Region 3. And speaking of Class 6A Region 3, we jump on to the game that I'm at right here, Spain Park Pelham. We got to tell you about a couple of proud sponsors real quick, Wayne's Pest Control and 3D Air Services. First, we'll tell you about 3D Air Services, proud sponsors of the Pelham Panthers. And since 2005, they've proudly called Shelby County home. They're more than just your trusted HVAC company. They're your neighbors, friends, and supporters. From keeping your home comfortable year-round to sponsoring local schools and athletic programs, they're committed to making a difference in our community. As proud sponsors of the Pelham Panthers, 3D Air believes in the power of teamwork, dedication, and community spirit, values they carry with them to every job they do. 3D Air Services, your trusted neighbor, keeping Shelby County comfortable, one home at a time. And Wayne's Pest Control proudly sponsoring the Spain Park Jaguars. While the Spain Park Jaguars are playing defense against their opponent, Wayne's is playing defense for your home this football season. Don't let mosquitoes, fleas, or ticks sideline your family's outdoor fun. Wayne's environmentally safe mosquito treatments will keep your yard clear, and their affordable Mosquito Plus program will also eliminate fleas and ticks. Protect your family and pets today and take the bite out of the great outdoors. For quality service and peace of mind, trust Wayne's Pest Control. Call 866-WAYNES1 or visit callwaynes.com to learn more. Tyler, big game here for these two teams, Spain Park and Pelham. Pelham right in that 3-game win streak, 3-0 in region play. Spain Park, they've had success at times this year. They've played a challenging schedule. This is a big one, though. You can't lose this one and still get one of those top 2 spots in the region, in my opinion, and any shot of a region title likely out the window as well. So when you look at this game on paper, Brock Bradley, the Spain Park offense, E.J. Curley up front on the defensive side against this Pelham offense of Dylan Smith and all the wideouts that he has, Tristan Rutledge at running back, and a much improved defense on that side for the Panthers this year. How does this one unfold between Spain Park and Pelham?
2 tough minds there. Ross Newton, Tim Vakakis.
Yeah.
Andrew had the feature story a couple days ago, and I think it's a perfect explanation of how this game's going to go. 2 really good minds, battle-tested. It's just going to be tough, I think, for Pelham to really go on the road and face a Spain Park team who I think is actually hotter than what they're showing on the field. They had a slow showing against James Clemens last week, although winning that game by 21 points. I just think Brock Bradley has the game knowledge in his mind to be able to pick apart this Pelham defense. And I think Pelham's really susceptible to giving up points on defense, and I think that's what's going to hurt them at the park tonight. So I do see that happening. I see it being a shootout, but I do see Spain Park taking this game and keeping their momentum going here in region play.
Well, Pelham coming off a bye week, I think at the right time. They had won 3 in a row. Confidence was building, but they could have gotten to a point where they had too much confidence. They had a week to let it kind of simmer, work on some things, and get that confidence back, as well as that excitement and desire to win a game like this and draw up a special game plan. The improvements defensively, I think, is what makes this a closer game tonight. Pelham has been so improved on that side of the ball. It's been such a focus. And then when you look at their offense and the balance that they have on that side of the football, with the 3 wideouts that have been really good and consistent, Dylan Smith growing confidence. He'll run the football and isn't scared to go for a physical first down, and Tristan Rutledge running the football as well. It's a balanced Pelham team, but at the end of the night, Spain Park up front on both sides of the ball, I think, makes the difference. I think they're able to win this game, but I do think this one's going to be a pretty tight one. I could be wrong. They could come out here and score 3 touchdowns quick in their first few drives, but I think this is going to be a close game and a lot of fun to watch. So make sure you follow along with those updates tonight there on X as we keep you updated from this one. Great coverage throughout the night from there to our stories, photos, and videos as well. Well, Tyler, now to the game that you're at, Oak Mountain and Hoover. This one also sponsored by Wayne's Pest Control. 866-CALL-WAYNES or 866-WAYNES1. CallWaynes.com. Make sure you visit Wayne's Pest Control for all your needs. As we get into the fall season, you're going to have those bugs looking to get inside. So make sure you visit Wayne's Pest Control for all your pest control needs. Tyler, I'm going to let you explain yourself. 52-3, I believe, is your prediction for this one. I think I picked it to be a little bit closer. What is the confidence level like in the Oak Mountain Eagles, who have struggled at times this year, but going up against a Hoover team they've never beaten in school history?
Well,
I caught you.
The jury's out on me, Alex. The jury's out, and I think people recognize that. I've already been called out multiple times here. But let me just start by saying, Alec, an emotional night here. The Eagles program has just retired G.J. Looney's jersey. Big for that program. And I was someone who had a personal connection when I was very little with DJ, and he meant a lot to me. So congratulations to the Looney family, and, big thing for that program. As for this game, I just think it's too much. I think Hoover's offense is going to really pick apart this Oak Mountain defense. And I think that's where my motivation to put that outlandish prediction out there for. I think it's just going to be too much. And traditionally, when these two teams have met in the regular season, it's been a bloodbath for Oak Mountain defense. And I just think it's going to be hard. I think Hoover's defense is going to get in the backfield, really work on Charlie Macarella and Marty Myrick. It's just going to be tough. Who lets me say these words, Alec? God bless Go Bucks tonight, man. It's gonna be hard to really justify a win for Oak Mountain, and I do think Hoover runs away with this at the end of the night.
Yeah, for those who don't know, obviously Tyler is an Oak Mountain graduate, so he's got his goom in his head and his heart, he's got the goom in his heart, but in his head he's saying the Bucks are going to take it tonight. I agree with him. I do think it's going to be a lot closer than he thinks, ultimately, because Hoover has just been so inconsistent this year. But the problem's going to be, can Oak Mountain score enough points to be able to keep that defense off the field and get some rest, too? I think the defense is going to be on the field way too much in that game, and that is the problem there. Well, that takes us to our game of the week. Thompson at Hewitt-Trussville here in a big matchup. Thompson hits the road in a huge region showdown. Tyler, I'm going to turn to you, let you take it away for a minute as we go to the national anthem at Spain Park. Give me your rundown, the keys to this game, and who walks away as the winner between Thompson and Hewitt-Trussville for likely the region championship, or at least first place tonight in that region.
Well, guys, I think everyone at home listening, this is a game that we have all been waiting for the entire season. And when I was doing these previews, I was thinking, Hewitt-Trussville, this is their opportunity after what happened last season. They lost tight games to Thompson and Hoover both, and they had the number 1 defense in Class 7A. They still have the number 1 defense in Class 7A, but they are rolling. And I think what the difference this makes tonight is, can Hewitt's defense step up to the challenge like it did last year? They held Thompson to a low amount of points. I think one of the lowest they had all season. But you look at this game, and Thompson's angry. They're coming off a loss to Clay Chalk Bowl last Thursday night. They've had an extra day of prep. Trent Seaburn, Mark Freeman, Ami Malala, Cam Pritchett, just to name a few. You have all the weapons available for you for Thompson to go and win this game, be able to come out here, dominate against a Hewitt Trustful defense who has proven to be one of the toughest in Class 7A and the state all season long. I think for Hewitt, it's about can you execute on offense. I don't know if they have Zach Benedict, their quarterback back, but I think Thompson's offense is just going to be too much at the end of the day. It's going to be a 17-10 game was my prediction, low scoring. And Alec, as we get to the national anthem here, we're going to turn it over to you to finish this out.
Well, Tyler, I'll let you sign off for the night. I appreciate it, buddy. Go enjoy, have some fun out there at your alma mater, and we'll see if that prediction is wrong or right at the end of the night. So go have some fun, Tyler. I'll break down the Thompson game as he jumps off real quick and give you my closing thoughts. But, Tyler, go enjoy yourself and have fun the rest of the night. But, yeah, just my quick thoughts there on that Thompson game. When you look at this matchup, I've seen Thompson several times this year. It feels like they've been trying to work in that run game, get a little bit more consistent on the offensive side of the football from a balance standpoint. And at times that's hurt them a little bit. It's hampered them with what they can do throwing the football. Last week, though, they did some good things on the offensive side. They did enough to win that football game. They just made some mistakes in the second half on both sides of the football that ultimately cost them against Clay Chalkville. Tonight, though, that's the best thing that could have happened for them. Taking on Hewitt Trustville, a game that actually means something for the region standings. If they win this one, very good chance they're going to walk away with the region championship this year. And that's exactly what you want going into a game like this. And these are two good football teams. When you look at what Hewitt Trustville's been able to do on both sides of the ball this year, these defenses have been outstanding. Hewitt giving up 6.8 points per game, Thompson 10.2 points per game. Both of them playing such good football on the defensive side of the ball. But what I look at is this Thompson offense looking to bounce back. They're going to have a big night tonight, I think. And I think that's the difference in this game. They've got a lot of weapons to spread the football out to. If they come out and play confident like they know they can play, they're going to win this football game. And as Andrew said earlier in the week on our show, he said it's going to be a blowout. They're going to run away with it. I'm not quite that confident. I think this is going to be, like Tyler, a tight game. I think it could be lower scoring, similar to what we've seen in Thompson's biggest game so far this season with Grayson, with Clay Chalkville last week. The defense is going to have to play well in a tight game. The offense needs to make those big plays in the second half to be able to make the difference and win this football game. And that's the crazy thing last week. This Thompson team's normally been a second-half team this year, starting a little bit slow on offense. Last week they started fast, and then they just couldn't close it out. And that was the same setup they had against Grayson, except the opposite situation. A little bit of an inconsistent start, and in that second half, the offense did enough to build, and then they just couldn't quite maintain it and hold off in that one either. So two tight games this year they've lost. This one, I think they flipped the script there. I think Thompson's got it back in order. And anytime, Andrew said it earlier in the week, the Nick Saban effect is the Mark Freeman effect. When they lose a game, especially a heartbreaking game, that fuels them, that motivates them. Hewitt Trustville's the new #1 team in the state this week. Thompson's going to be motivated and fueled by that to be the team that comes in and proves the doubters wrong, that they're still the top team in the state until somebody prevents them from getting a blue map at the end of the year. So a big one for the Thompson Warriors tonight on the road at Hewitt Trustville in Class 7A Region 3, likely for the region championship. That's one of 12 games we've got taking place this week. And as we said earlier week on the football show, we had basically 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0 with our games of the week. Thompson Hewitt, Spain Park Pelham, Briarwood Corner, Vincent Tuscaloosa Academy, all monster matchups taking place tonight. It's going to be a huge night, so make sure you're following along all night long on X. Tyler Rayleigh over there, myself, Alec Etheridge, and Andrew Simonson. Daniel Locke will also have updates for you from the Briarwood Corner game, so make sure you're following along there. We'll have stories, photos, videos, everything you can imagine posted to our website, shared to all of our social platforms, Facebook, X. If you're not following us on YouTube or TikTok, get over there and follow us there as well. We'll have some shorts on both of those platforms uploaded throughout the week as well. Thank you all for tuning in. That's going to do it for this week's Shelby County High School football pregame show. We'll be back next week, all three of us again, hopefully with a better connection to get us all on board yet again as we break down another big week next week in region play. That does it for now from Spain Park High School. Hope you all enjoy your football Friday night.